They could have a vote.
All right, folks, let's get rolling.
We don't need a solicitor?
We don't need a solicitor.
Okay.
Do you guys want to start with the pledge?
No, you're just reconvening.
We're just reconvening the meeting.
Oh, okay.
It's as if we
Reconvene.
just took a
Hi.
break.
So what does this get added on to the last one, is the reconvene?
For me to say the pledge anyway? You want to?
Well, we really wouldn't.
Okay.
And we did a pledge allegiance already today, so I feel pretty good. All right, so this is a reconvene meeting of the May 23rd meeting. Today is June 8th. We'll be as informal as possible to get through it. So there were no, and for those who weren't here, Darren was on vacation. Marion had to leave due to a family emergency. Monique was sick. And Mr. Hobbs has significant back problems that hopefully are on their way to mending. We wish him and the family well. And congratulations on their daughter's 8th grade promotion ceremony today. Yeah. Oh, did she? Really? Great. Good
So
for her.
basically, we're gonna go back over the agenda, we should have gone,
Well, we're not gonna go back over the whole thing. We couldn't vote when everybody left.
but we put up the budget up in
We
front for a
did do the
vote.
budget stuff,
Are
so
we gonna
this is.
redo that now?
No, we're not going to redo that, no.
Can I ask a question, should I wait till you get ahead until we get to that portion?
Or you could save that question for budget and finance,
Okay, thank you.
right?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, so,
We need a roll call, you want to follow your agenda.
oh, yes, I do. Thank you.
Okay,
Roll call, Mr. Cuff.
Ms. Richardson,
Here.
Mrs. Fitty,
Here,
Mr. Burrell,
Here.
Ms. Hummel,
Here.
Mr. Wright,
Here.
Mr. Cave,
I'm here.
Ms. Hoff.
Here,
So
here,
Ms.
here,
Portman,
present. Awesome. Okay, motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All those, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against?
Just have a question. Were there any changes at all from what we left off?
I
page
believe,
6,
there weren't?
No, these were the
No, great,
same agenda.
Okay.
great. All right, motion to approve the minutes from the business meeting of April 25th.
So moved.
Second.
Well, any comments, school board directors?
from the meeting that we didn't have a quorum?
No,
This is from April 25th.
Oh, no.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Perfect. Motion to approve the minutes from the committee meeting of May 16, 2016.
moved.
Second.
Any questions from the board of school board directors?
Yeah,
What's that?
I'd like to abstain on that one.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? No one abstain from Ms. Fitty, please. Thank you. Public comments regarding agenda items. Hello,
Yeah, that's a big-
public, how are you?
That's a big
Any
public
questions?
tonight.
Any questions? It's free today. You can ask all the questions you want.
Oh, it's recorded, so it's not totally free.
Killjoy to the left.
There's consequences in that little red light.
Oh, okay. All right, hearing none, we'll move to committee reports. Community relations, there was nothing to vote on at the May 23rd meeting, so we can go past that one. Mr. Wright, would you read education committee agenda?
B1, homebound instruction.
Right.
B2, termination of homebound instruction.
Right.
B3, behavioral health system, contract for SAP service. B4, agreement with Child Guidance Resource Center.
Right.
B5, agreement for human growth and development educational service for special education students. B6, Invo Healthcare Associate, agreement for service. B7, 2016 summer program for students. B8, East Lansdowne Elementary School 6th grade trip to the Cimarron Shore Picnic Park. And this is a continuation, B9, school improvement plan.
Right, and those school improvement plans were in your board packet
Right.
2 weeks ago. We didn't have one last week, they were in your packet the week before.
How long does the school need to be on an improvement plan?
It depends on their school performance profile. The state has not changed that since the first time the school performance profile came out. So if you were identified as a priority or a focus school during that time, it hasn't changed in 5 years. It should have changed after 3.
Okay.
So,
So it's not like, you know, if you test well one year, then you're off. They still take the 3 rolling
it
years?
is 3 years that you have to plan and to do what you need to do.
Do we have, are any of these schools close to being off of a performance?
Well, I can't answer that because I don't know what the state's gonna set the bar at, where the criteria is going to be. It used to be that if your school performance profile was 70 or more,
Right.
that the answer is yes. So if we were going with the same
So,
rule, call-in would definitely come off,
yeah.
and Park Lane.
Good.
Any
Can you
other
let us know
questions?
when you know? Can you let us know when you know what the bar is for this?
When will they tell us what the bar is?
Well, they're redoing the school performance profile.
Right.
So, because they're redoing it, that added another year for us to be in these categories. But
Just because they're redoing it?
right, but the good news, I mean, the bad news is that we're identified. The good news is we get money because we're
Right.
identified.
Sure.
And we would not get that money if we were, like, Evans is not identified and Ardmore is not identified, and they get no extra support from the state.
Why is that?
That's their rules.
Because they're not a target school.
They're not a
Because-
school that's getting, that's being focused on at the moment.
Whose rule?
The state.
They?
Yeah.
Well, that,
Well, so hopefully, if the funding formula gets funded, those schools would get more via that formula.
Absolutely.
But we've yet to see that, so next topic. I mean, we won't know that till June 29th, maybe. What?
even at that date, we might not
Or
know the
December
way it's going.
Right, yeah. My sense is that they will,
Or April.
yeah.
I mean, I think it should be mandatory, that we have to do it by June 30th. I think it should be,
Oh, I know, but let's, it's just not how it is. So we can wish
That's
upon a
unfair.
star,
It's above our pay.
concur, yeah, it's above our pay.
I hear you.
Okay, that's all? I broke them, thank you. All right, any other questions?
Need a second.
Second.
Second, any other comments from Board of School Board Directors? Hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, thank you very much. Personnel, Ms. Hummel.
Yes, nothing has changed, so we have C1 retirement, C2 resignation, C3 appointment, C4 leave of absence, C5 changes of assignment, C6 years of service recognition, C7 resignation, C8 appointments, and that is it. I do want to ask the members of my committee, Marion and Robert, if you are available for a meeting one night next week, so that we can look over the SSO negotiations back and forth, what's been going on, so that we could be ready to make a committee recommendation to the committee of the whole meeting the following Monday, and then we could vote on it at the end of the month.
so what day do you wanna meet next week?
Any date next week is good for me. I know that you're not good on Wednesdays, is that true or no?
Not good on Monday.
On Mondays, okay,
So
so,
it's not the third Monday, so it's only the
This is
second
the
Monday.
second
so
Monday.
you're good?
Second one? No, I had something else I had to do.
Oh, okay. I thought I
okay,
knew
so
this.
if we're looking
I
at,
took Friday.
so we're looking at the 14th, 15th, or 16th, that's Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
Thursday's good for me.
Thursday the 16th?
Yeah.
Thursday
Don't
the
you have something
16th?
15?
Well,
Thursday the 16th?
That would be better, yeah, 16.
16th, okay,
And what time?
Graduation is 14.
right.
Graduation is 14.
Can we do it at 6 o'clock instead of 6:30?
I'm fine with that.
Or, I mean, I could do it at 5:30 if anyone wants to do it at 5:30.
I'm fine with that.
5:30, get you home earlier too?
Yeah, cause I think Joe likes to get out of here by then, right, Joe?
Well,
Yeah,
and
I mean, I'm
also,
available at any time that day. I would like to be able to the public to come if they want to and other board members, but if we can move it up to 5:30, that would be great.
I could come on
So that's
Thursday.
16th,
Thursday, the
Right.
16th,
5:30.
5:30,
5:30 in this room.
Okay,
okay?
All right.
And basically, the only thing on the agenda, unless Joe comes up with something else, is that The SRO contract is coming up at the end of the month. The administration has had some chats with their leadership because it's a meet and discuss, right? It's not a
Right.
union group. It outlines certain issues, and if you could get did you send the outline of those issues to anyone but me?
Oh.
Okay, could you send the outline of the
I did
issues?
send it
To
to
me.
them. Yeah,
Okay,
I actually thought it went,
did it go to everybody?
but I went to everybody.
yeah, I thought it went to the committee, but
All right,
you can
you know what,
send it
let's
again.
send it out again and look at the issues, and if anybody and send it to the whole board again. If anybody has feedback on these particular questions, has to do with salary increases, number of days worked, holidays, all of that stuff, just send me a quick note, copy Joe, and then we'll discuss it on the 16th. And after that, I assume that unless there's anything major, the committee will have some recommendation to make on the 20th at our committee meeting, and then we can vote on the 27th and actually be 4 days ahead of contract deadline, right?
Right, and what David forgot at our last meeting was to put us in executive session to talk about the IA's contract, which they have approved and is under what this board specified as the goals of our negotiations. So we will talk about that in executive session in our meeting in June, and hopefully ratify that also.
So we could do that on the 20th, we could
Right,
talk about that at
right.
committee of the whole.
Right, and those two contracts mirror each other,
Okay,
okay?
very cool, thank you guys.
So June 20th.
That's the committee of the whole. So
Yeah.
June
Right.
16th,
All right.
Thursday, 5:30.
Right, and
What time?
5:30 here on June 16th.
Yes,
That's
but not on the
personnel.
20th, it's 6:30.
No, that's 6:30.
Okay.
when are second interviews for middle school?
June 15,
June 15th.
What time?
2, 4, 5.
2, 4, and 5. School board directors are invited to attend. We will not be asking questions, we will witness. The candidate will leave the room, we will ask questions of our staff, and they will answer
For the
us.
principal of the middle school.
Let me make sure this
Correct.
one's available
Well,
on
let's
Thursday.
say principal.
Principal.
Let's say principal. We have a couple of openings, and it's not quite identified where those openings will go. Let's say principal. Right, we have 2 principal openings, correct?
Okay.
Right? All right, so the 15th, 2, 4, and 5, if you would like to attend. It is not mandatory, you can get notes from someone else, and you will not be asking questions, I just want to be clear. And that's how we've done it for the last 3 or 4 principals.
Just a question, would it benefit us to, identify the building?
At this time, I want to give staff a little bit more leeway.
Okay.
We know that we're interviewing for middle school and elementary.
Right,
The experience of said interviewees could cause it to not be the school we think it is, right? Because there's 8 elementary schools. It may or may not,
And
but we
also,
just
our
want to
new
be.
superintendent is reviewing her administrative staff and may see that there are places to put people that maybe our former superintendent didn't recognize or hadn't come about at that time, so I guess it's more.
Does that mean also that Jen, you kind of stay out of it too, or just for the administrators to do?
Yeah, I haven't been in it at all. I will be there on the 15th, but
How many candidates do we have already applying?
So the first round of interviews is done. How many candidates did you interview first round?
We
For middle
interviewed
school,
altogether for elementary, and it is advertised as elementary. So that way, as Charlotte said, if I want to make decisions to move current staff around, we can. So altogether, we interviewed, 9 people? 6 one day and 3 the other, or maybe 8. I can't remember.
Okay.
And we narrowed it down to bring back 3 for second interviews. And that's when we want your input.
Thank you.
and this is, on the 15th, this is elementary?
Well, I'm going to tell you that we want to look at both, because I think we have one candidate for sure who would work well with elementary. So the three that we're bringing back, we will tell you which ones we are kind of leaning towards, but there's one candidate who could go either direction because they have that experience.
Okay.
All right.
Well, I guess I'm a little confused.
So-
We're not interviewing for the middle school?
We are, yes, definitely, we're interviewing for the middle school, yes. One of those three candidates hopefully will be a successful candidate for the middle school.
But you're interviewing this for elementary.
No, we're interviewing them as administrators that we're looking for. One could go both directions. They have the experience and the certification that they could go K to 12. The other two, we're looking more for the middle school. But, again, and if those don't work out, we'll have to start all over again and, with round one.
All right. So come on the 15th,
What time?
2, 4, and 5.
We will provide some type of snack in between from 3 to 4.
Or you can go back to where you came from.
Because we're gonna invite parents and
Teachers.
teachers, thank you.
All right, any questions?
But they won't have any input into it.
No.
They do the same
They,
thing as
they,
us.
they observe also. I mean, we listen to what they have to say, just as we listen to what you have to say.
Right, they
That's
just
the way
can't ask
we've
any
all-
questions.
Well, we've done it this way for, starting back when I know we did it for Mr. McKay, we did it for Ms. Breaker,
Did it for Dr. Lee.
Dr. Lee, yes, so.
All right, all right.
Need a second.
I'm sorry, may I have a second on the personnel agenda, please?
Second.
Any other comments from the Board of School Board Directors?
Are we down any SSOs now at this time?
We have one person on, that actually is appealing, and that's another issue we have to bring up to the board. A hearing will be before the full school board on the 27th. David's going to contact the attorney representing our employee. So that's really the only one.
So we're basically really down just one right
Right.
now. Do we have enough coverage if anyone's call out? Do we have subs, how many subs do we have to cover if SOs call out Fridays and Mondays or whatever? We have no leftover for coverage.
We were approved for full-time positions, so we have 26 full-time subs. 26 full-time school safety officers.
Alright, so
And just like teachers, if they call out, we have some issues filling them with subs.
that's where I'm getting at. So if any of them call out, we have to pull an SSO from another school to cover that area, which has been a problem from what I'm hearing. Okay, thank you.
We should talk about that at the personnel committee meeting too.
Yeah, I was,
I don't know if there's anything we can do in contractual terms to deal with excessive absences, but if there is, we should.
And
We have.
we have,
Okay. As part of the contract language?
oh, no, I don't know if it's part of the contract.
What was your question?
Back
I'm
off on
sorry.
that.
If we're having issues with attendance, maybe we can, I don't know if we can, but if we can, we should make something part of the contract language with regard to excessive absences or whatever. They're not regulated by state law. We can say, if you're absent on a Friday or a Monday, you have to have a note,
Right.
even though you may not have to have a note on a Wednesday.
All right.
I don't know what language we can use, but I think we need to make it clear to this group that that is a major concern of ours.
How about if we make it clear to everyone?
Mhm.
Right, but we're negotiating this contract.
Right. I hear you. I just wanna, All right, anything else?
Other than the vote, no.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? All right, thank you all. Property, there was nothing to approve on the 23rd. We will be, what?
You did approve.
Okay, before everybody left.
Yeah, all that was acted on.
We will be talking about some property stuff on committee of the whole meeting. we'll use that time, instead of having a property meeting on the 13th, we will talk about it on the 20th. Mostly summer projects, et cetera. Yes,
This
ma'am.
is where I asked the question about the budget.
Not
Says
yet.
budget, budget and finance.
Well, we're not
On property.
Right, we're on property.
I get that, but
We're-
then after that comes new business,
Okay,
and
but
then I
we're-
see nothing else.
We're going to have a budget and finance meeting. So you can ask about it at this one, but it's probably more appropriate for the budget and finance meeting that's gonna take place in 10 minutes. But you may ask about it anytime. Budget and finance,
That's a
do
question.
you have anything to ask?
Oh, well, yeah, guess.
Okay. Any questions around budget and finance? Great. All right, policy. Ms. Richardson?
F1, you see this is the second reading of those policies that you see in front of you, so this is to approve the second reading.
Great. Any questions or comments from the Board of School Board Directors?
I'll make a second.
Great, thank you. Any questions?
Are we having a separate policy meeting on, at the committee meeting?
I believe we will be talking about certain policies regarding ninth grade academy on the 20th, unless Ms. Richardson would like to have a separate meeting. That is up to you.
Is that regarding the dress code?
That would be regarding the dress code and,
The usage policy?
actually,
Those are procedures.
Dr. Bruno said we do not have
Oh, that's
to
right.
have, that is not board-approved policy.
Right, right.
The dress code is not a board.
No, dress code is, as in the emails that were floating around through policy, the Chromebook policies are not, do not have to be approved by the Board of School Board Directors. Dress code, because we have previously acted on those, does have to be approved. Okay, so would you like to handle that policy on the 20th, or would you like a separate meeting?
So I would need a meeting before the 20th.
No, we
No,
can have the
it's-
same meeting on the 20th with, wait a minute.
Right, but what I'm asking her, Ms. Fitty,
I'm
is
sorry.
would she like to include the policy conversation on the 20th, or would you like to have a separate
I
meeting?
think I would like to have a separate meeting.
Okay, great, when would you like to have?
We already have something on the 6th. Personnel.
You wanna do it on the 16th after the 5:30 personnel?
So that would be around like 6:30.
Yep,
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
all right, policy at 6:30 on the 16th. So let me just write that down before it goes in one ear and out the other. And at that meeting, we will discuss ninth grade academy dress code. All right, everybody got it dialed in?
Yep.
There we go. Great. Ms. Shako, can you make Ms. Boykins informed about those meetings tomorrow, so she has plenty of time to plan? All right, any other questions about policy? May I have a second?
Second.
All the,
Third.
yes, ma'am?
I just said third.
Okay.
I'm gonna referendum tonight.
Don't
thank
start
you.
trouble over in that corner. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? Thank you. New business. This is the authorization for legal representation, shockingly, about charters. Motion is to authorize the Levin Legal Group, PC, to represent William Penn School District and multiple other school districts named as respondents in the charter school litigation. May I have a first and a second?
You want a
It's
first
like,
and a second?
Well, I
I'll move
can't,
it.
I can't move it.
I'll
So
move.
move.
Second?
Can we,
it's the.
We can talk about it, but
Oh,
just,
okay.
second.
all right, now, questions from the school board director.
Now, I mean, is this just like the repeat of last year where we withheld?
No, this is actually, David had actually talked about this at the last meeting. This is at the tail end of last school year. the state issued or instituted a practice where they would not pay for the tuition for charter schools after the current subsidy has exhausted itself. So this charter school had tuitions due to them, which they went to the state, couldn't get it from the state. So there's several school districts who did not pay that charter school, and so they're placed a lawsuit against the state and certain other districts. So we have a policy with our insurance carrier, and this is the Levin Legal Group that will represent us as well as other school districts.
Any other questions? It's not fun. Charter school stuff's a mess. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone against? All right. Oh, comment from citizens regarding non-agenda items. Anybody? Two new guys that walked in? Comments?
I just came in, I had a question about the,
Yes, stand up.
Stand up and your name, and we'll forgive you for wearing Upper Darby colors in our hall.
fraternity colors.
Oh, okay, they're Upper Darby colors too.
Hey, I graduated Penwood '89.
There you go.
There you go.
Yay, thank you, yay.
All right, actually, my name is Gregory James. I'm a resident of Darby Borough. Actually, I reside in Darby, getting properties in both boroughs. My question was basically in regards to the football field or the athletic field at Penwood Middle School. We noticed that the gates were locked.
Right.
And we didn't know why. So we didn't know where to go as far as how to get them unlocked, because we have a permit to use the field. Or at least we thought we signed up for a permit to use the field.
So the fields are locked because they are district property and they are to be locked at night. So do you have a permit to play football?
Well, what
Did you
happened?
apply for a permit this year?
Yes, we did.
Okay,
So we've been applying for a permit for the last 10 years.
right,
Somewhere along the line, the process changed. We
Correct.
were unaware of the process being changed. We had no notification about that. So we made a couple of phone calls and were instructed to go through this new process, the school
Okay.
due, and register for usage of the field.
right.
So we did that, and the gates were still locked.
So what dates did you, what days of the week did you request?
Well, it wasn't any days of the week. What's happening right now for us, we promote what we call a mini camp, so it's only on Saturdays. It's from 10 a.m. to 12 a.m. So what we did was we put in for the whole season, and some of it got denied.
Right.
We didn't know why. Again, this is something that we've been doing for the last 10 years. So
Okay,
the communication that we got back was, I guess it had something to do with the fiscal year and how it cuts off.
so we will only make reservations 3 months ahead because it's hard to tell our needs for that. So a couple of things. I apologize that you were not informed about a new process. I will see why you weren't. The policy regarding property usage changed in August of 2015, so last August, so it's been around 9 months. I don't see why your 10 to 12 on Saturday would be disapproved. I know that our fields are closed at 3 o'clock on Saturday, and they are not open on Sunday.
Well, all the gates were locked, so what we had to do was go around to the front of the field and gain access to where
Right.
your police
So-
station used to be.
I will get your information after this meeting, and I will give our property usage guy a call in the morning, and then I will get back with you and try to mediate this.
Okay. So, I mean, the other thing, like I said, we put in for a permit last year, so if something changed, we felt as though we should have been notified so that we can make sure that we're following.
Well, I think that, so person A did the permits in the past,
Right.
and person B does them now, and I don't think that person A directed them to person B in a timely manner. But having said that, I do apologize, and let's see what we can do going forward.
And the other question was, you said basically that the permits are not, I guess, validated till 3 months out.
Correct.
So, I mean, like I said, we've done this for such a long period of time that we understand that, the school district supersedes anything that the community does. So we're
Right.
well aware of that. The only issue that we had, or really not a non-issue, we know that the middle school starts football 2 or 3 weeks into the season, they practice and will play games from 2:30 to 5 o'clock, and the communication for us was basically to, you know, we could be on the field from 6 to 8, and that's what we've been running with for the last 10 years. So,
Right.
the other question that we had was basically regarding Saturday usage, because then we got communication that the field is only available from, I guess, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Right,
Unfortunately, or fortunately, we've grown,
right,
and that time kind of conflicts with what we want to do.
right.
So when we put the permit in, we put in just for a range of dates, because I don't know when the league is going to schedule the games.
Right.
I know we only have 3 home games, but I don't know when they are.
Right.
I mean, we're in Pop Warner, so everything is very stringent,
Right.
everything very structured.
Right.
And but we will get communication on in regards to that. But I mean, for us, we don't have any other place to go. It's not like our borough has a field of their own. I mean, if we did, we probably wouldn't be using the football field as, you know, the school district's property. So
Right.
for us, it's a need basis.
Right, and we understand that, and we want to be super sensitive to that, and we're under really tight fiscal constraints, and keeping fields open costs us money. And it costs our community money in tax dollars, so we have to be really conscious of those things. Are most of your players from Darby?
Absolutely.
Okay.
We will
All right,
have as a.
So let's, we will definitely make every attempt to figure out what's going on. We cannot keep the fields open Saturday till 8 o'clock at night.
No, it wouldn't be that. I mean, what happens is, I mean, you have to tell us what's available
Right.
to us.
Right.
I mean, obviously, we're.
Right. They're gonna tell you Saturday until 3 o'clock and no Sunday.
Right.
So, but that doesn't
That would
really,
be very difficult. I mean, if we average out the time that it takes to play a game and we have 6 different weight classes, it's just no way possible. It's not like the school district has any lights. We
Right.
just don't have a place to go.
right.
I can't say, okay, well, let's use the high school field because the high school plays there. So,
But you've 3 home dates? We just don't know. Or do you need it every Saturday for all day?
no, it's 3 home dates.
Right, we
because
just don't know when they are.
I just don't know when they are. Once the schedule is produced, what we usually do is we communicate that to the school district, hey, here's where we're gonna be on the field. But we just use a blanket statement because we don't wanna bump into another organization. If we haven't had that problem,
Right,
but we don't wanna bump heads with anybody, we just kinda throw out an idea, well, here's when we know we're gonna be there. And,
right, so let's talk afterwards, and if it's 3 dates, we probably can figure something out, but so I imagine what happened is, you put in from 9 to 8 o'clock for every Saturday, from now till the end of time,
Right.
and somebody went red flag, and, and so that's probably what happened, but give me your information afterwards, and we'll get this worked out.
Okay, great, thank you.
Yep, thanks for coming.
Meg?
One sec. Sir, do you have anything to share? In the gray, you?
No.
No? All right, yes, you.
He's not the first person that has come forward with the Kurt Field availability.
He's not talking about Curfew.
What field are you talking
It's
about?
most fields.
Well, let me ask you a question. Did we ever clarify about the baseball team using Kurt Field? Because they said they're gonna use it 9 to 12
Right,
and Sunday's closed.
right, Sunday's closed.
So these people have been cutting our fields and maintaining our fields and not the maintenance and grounds. Isn't there a way that if people have been using the fields for so many years, like 10, 15 years, that we can grandfather them in?
Well, that would be everybody, Mrs. Fitty.
Well, I
That-
don't know why our fields were okay before, but all of a sudden now our fields are not available.
Ms. Fitty, it became a financial issue, and this was discussed in 3 meetings last summer, June, July, and August. It was just too much, and quite frankly, the residents of Darby asked us to close that field. They did not want that field gate open all the time. And we take great effort to close the gates while people come back and open the gates, but with their cutters, but it was quite a financial expense. Now, we will have more data to talk about property usage, because we're now at the end of the year program, we'll be able to get our information out of School Dude, and we'll see what our usage looks like. I think you're gonna be shocked about how much our facilities are used.
No, I'm not shocked at how much our facilities use, because I've been very involved with our facilities. I got the grant money back here for baseball back in the day, and they'd be used for Lansdowne Boys Club all the time. My issue is, I'd rather see people be active than non-active. And I know before, when we put up playgrounds, you don't want to fence them in, you want an open atmosphere so
Correct.
everybody can use there. But then our fields are an open access where they can't use them because they want them locked up. So to apples and oranges, these gentlemen, I'm not gonna say, you're probably much younger than I am, but these are gentlemen that are getting together and playing together, and there's never been a problem, but now you find that I'm getting a lot of calls and complaints.
Well, I think you should address them to Nick and let them be educated
Well,
about the
I
policy.
went to Rap Carrie, then I
Rap's
found
not in
out
charge
it's
of it.
no longer Rap Carrie, it's
Correct.
Nick.
Correct.
So when did it become, and I'm not gonna delay it, when did it come from Rap Carrie to Nick's property?
It's noted in the policy of April 2016 that of the title of the person who will be responsible for it, and that person employed in that title is Nick presently.
August, right?
What?
You meant August.
August 2000.
It's
2015,
It's been in that
right.
position almost about 9 months.
Right.
It's been Nick for
So
9 months.
9 months.
And it's named in the policy who who the questions will go to regarding that policy.
So Nick not only does the buses, does the field and recreation, and also was overseeing Aramark at the time.
Nick
No,
is-
Nick doesn't oversee it.
I know, not now. But he was hired in 2014 to do that. And he was doing that until the previous new contract out came from Aramark. So now he does the operations of the fields and all,
Right.
and the bus depot.
Correct.
Okay, just to get it clarified, and that came 9 months ago.
Correct, with the approval of that policy.
All right.
All right?
I think, Mr. James, the thing with the Moose Field is that the gates were locked because you're in the neighborhood, you know that the kids use it as a playground, they do everything out there. They throw rocks, stones, whatever. But I think that eliminates you from getting into the field because the gates are locked. And I know you've been using the field for quite a while because I've seen the kids, playing football. But it's just unfortunately, that you weren't informed that the new policies were in place.
Well,
Well, we're gonna get it worked out.
no, I mean, you make an interesting point. I've been in Darby since '84. So when I was coming through, there were no lights on the field. So once it got dark, I didn't see kids playing basketball anymore. A few years ago, maybe 5, 6 years ago, all of a sudden the lights started working. Oh, wow, look at this. So now what we have,
The lights from the building.
no, the lights on the basketball courts, they have night lights. Or
Okay.
not lights to light up the basketball court, but just like street lights that you will find on the block.
Oh, street lights.
Right, so all of a sudden, they began to work.
Right,
And that's when the problem became
Right.
to come in. Because all of a sudden, now you got kids up there, it's just enough light to play,
Right.
but we know that we're not supposed to be there. When the
Right.
lights were off, the only thing that you had was maybe people running through the field, but there was nothing to do because it was dark. Now the lights are on, I don't know if that's a security issue or not, but
They're
what you have now.
oh, but they're street lights, they're not
They're
our
street
lights.
lights. What you have now is kids simply hopping the gate.
Right,
It's just a matter of time before they cut the gate.
oh, of course.
So it's just, I'm looking at the pros and cons because I live across the street. So everything, you can see what's going on in the field.
Right,
And like I said, it's a shock. I get it. You want to secure your property. We totally
well,
understand.
we're under, the police, the local police also want all fields secured.
Right.
This one back here, that one, Kerrfield,
Kerrfield has different dynamics than
Right.
the
Well,
Moose.
we're gonna,
Because the basketball courts are separate from the football field and it's gated off.
right,
So, Darby has their own basketball courts.
Right.
If you ask me, I don't know why the basketball court's there. If you want to play basketball in Darby, you go down to the bottom of the hill where the Woolworths used to be at. There's a basketball court, it's gated off. If you take down the basketball court, you will eliminate half your problems, because then you don't really have a reason to be there. You're just going to be passing through. Maybe you take a shortcut from going to Cedar Avenue to, let's say, Summer Street. That's the only necessary evil the field's going to produce. It's just cutting through the neighborhood. That's it. So it all starts with the basketball courts. No basketball courts,
yeah.
you don't have any issues.
Havertown took down their basketball courts too, and I think it's pretty horrible.
And the gates are locked, but that doesn't
It's
deter
not
them.
gonna
They
stop.
jump the
Right.
gate.
Well, let's identify one problem and then another.
So,
We're gonna look at your permits, And we can't have any effect on the streetlights now working, which is probably good for the residents on the other side. But I mean, I guess this board could consider taking down the basketball courts, but I find that like closing playgrounds, but we can
They
have
got a
it.
recreation center.
Right.
But it's not-
Well, but the boys at the middle school, one of the things that we put in place
Right.
is that we really want the kids out during the day. They need a break, a physical break also. Not all of them have phys ed. So they go outside, and one of the things is, some of the boys are playing basketball, some of them are playing football, the girls are jumping rope, whatever. But I am a believer that our students at that age still need that, I don't wanna call it a recess, but a time
Activity
out,
time.
an activity time.
Right.
But I see very few of the school kids using the basketball court during their recess time. They don't-
Let's,
they
let's,
don't go that distance.
yeah, let's deal with this issue, and we can talk about, basketball courts offline. All right? Anybody else? Hearing none, motion to adjourn?
Second.